want to talk about something that has actually bugged me for not quite some time. It just goes off my mind because once in a while I see people complaining about that, and then I was like, you know, it's for those of you who are considering to buy a hybrid vehicle or EV, not so lah, huh? Mostly hybrid, plug-in hybrids, alright? Volvos and BMWs and Mercedes stopped selling their plug-in hybrids, right? Anyway, this is a very common thing that a lot of salesmen from these car brands, it has troubled them. Okay, I mean, if you sell cars, if you are from BMW, if you are from Volvo, you would have gotten this, and it has given you such a big headache to let people to understand. Okay, the funny thing is this. We all understand our fuel tank, right? Our gasoline engines or diesel engines. I mean, we've gotten familiar with that. We all grown up with them, so we have a good intuitive understanding of roughly how far we can go based on where the needle is, even though it doesn't show anything. It's just F or E, right? It doesn't even show the liters, right? Right, it's full or empty. But cars vary greatly in terms of their fuel tank size. Okay, let's say a small car like a Volkswagen Polo, right? You get a fuel tank that is rough. I think I may be wrong, but it should be about 40 liters, right? That's generally what a small car's fuel tank will be. Let's talk about my 6 Series, right? This one, this car has a 70-liter fuel tank, all right, 70. And my Aston Martin, 19 liters. I'm not sure if there are cars with 100 liters of fuel tank, but I can't think of any. Now the thing is this, and sorry, and most of our cars, modern cars now, you have like a fuel consumption gauge, right? There's a fuel consumption gauge, and there is a remaining kilometer estimation, like how far you can go. So we all understand that, right? You one day you'll be driving your car, and then you fill up your tank, and then you look at the range estimation. It says 550 km. Okay, yeah, you use your car for a week, and then you fill up again, and then you look at your range. It says 450. Right? You understand that because you know that the car is calculating roughly what kind of distance you can make with your full tank of fuel, because they base it on how you have been driving it, right? So if you are a heavy footer, you get less, or if that week you are in a lot of traffic jam, you use up a lot of fuel without covering a lot of kilometers, and then the car would deem it as, you know, a higher fuel consumption figure. If that whole week you have been driving on the highways, right? You drive from KL to Penang, and then you're cruising on the highway about 100, 110, you might even see 600 km from the range calculator, right? So we understand this concept really well. But the funny thing is, when it comes to hybrid cars, oh my God, I really pity the salesmen, man. People, the salesmen of BMWs and Volvos and used to Mercedes as well. Oh, they get flagged, man. The customers going there and complaining to them, I think my car got a problem. Send it in for a check. And most of the time they call, and then they schedule for, they say their car has a big issue, battery deterioration and all that. And then what do you expect the SA to do, the service advisor? Of course, they have to give you a slot, right? And then you send your car in. Because of your complaint, they have to take down of your complaint, and then they have to do a test, right? If you're lucky, you go in the morning and you can pick up your car in the afternoon. Sometimes They might tell you, oh, sorry, you need to leave your car here, we need to test it. And for the customer, right, they're already so pissed, because they believe they have bought a faulty car. And then some more you tell them they need to leave the car. And then what? They demand a courtesy car, right? And then after you wait for 2 days, they tell you, oh, your car has no issues. And then the first thing that the customer think is, oh, they're trying to cheat me. They don't allow me to claim warranty. I want a new battery. It's so difficult to explain to them. No matter what you try to explain to them, they'll just say that when I remember when I collect the car, the electric range says 40 km. But now after I fully charge it for whole night, the next day it is only showing 32 km. I am pissed. Right? So the thing is this, a lot of hybrid owners who don't understand this, they believe, I think it all started from when they are thinking of buying one. So many people tell them, oh, the battery is expensive, battery will deteriorate, battery this, battery that. But actually this fear, right, when you take one step back, right, you look at the products around us that has a battery in it. Why is it that when it comes to cars, we all refuse to accept that their batteries can deteriorate? Or we believe that they prematurely deteriorate, right? I mean, everybody understands, right? Your laptop, your phones and all that, there is a lifespan to it, right? For the battery, gradually they will deteriorate. But car batteries generally last a lot longer. Okay, then we come back to that. The customers, in their minds, right, they believe that they have been shortchanged, that they used to have this much of battery capacity, and after just 1 week of usage, their battery has deteriorated. They now have a smaller battery. Sometimes I just felt that I really pity the salespeople because they do not know how to explain to customers. They keep telling them, oh, this is normal. Come on, you don't say this is normal. Okay, you cannot say this is normal. Your customers will, right? That's what they will do. Okay, explain to them this way. Okay, take the argument to the fuel, right? Show them the fuel range, right? When your car is showing you 450 km, yeah, sorry, before I go to that, we all know fuel is calculated by liters, right? How many liters of fuel? And then battery is how many kilowatt hour or milliampere if it is smaller ones. But basically, kilowatt hour comes from milliampere. Okay, milliampere multiplied by voltage is kilowatt hour. Okay, let's get that concept in first. Okay, basically the capacity of your battery, like this one maybe has 4,000 milliamperes, but then a car has maybe 8 kilowatts, 11 kilowatts, 12 kilowatts. An electric car has 60 kilowatts, 80 kilowatts, 100 kilowatts. Basically, the larger your kilowatt hour is, kWh, the bigger the battery is. Same goes with a phone, right? 5,000 milliampere battery will be larger than a 4,000 milliampere battery. This one has a 7,000 or 8,000 milliampere battery. Anyway, so we all know that, right? I mean, petrol is calculated by liters, batteries are calculated by kilowatt hour or milliampere, and then distance is calculated by kilometers, right? So why is it that in an electric car or hybrid car, the battery capacity is denoted in kilometers and not milliampere or kilowatt hour? It's the same as our fuel tank, right? They don't say 40 liters, 20 liters, 10 liters. They tell you full or empty, right? Because that is a gauge. That's why it's a gauge, right? It's for you to roughly know whether your fuel tank is full or empty, instead of telling you it has 20 liters or 40 liters or 0. And if they are using liters, they might not want to even tell you 40, because even though your fuel tank has 40 liters, the full and empty might only be here. They want that that extra, the buffer, because some people would tend to stretch. When you comes to empty, they will just go like, I still have some, just to safeguard you. So they can't tell you one thing, oh, this car has a 40-liter fuel tank, and then on your fuel gauge it shows 30, 15, 0, and then you believe you have a smaller fuel tank. See, that's how customers are. So it's a gauge. Same thing with the electric range calculator. They give you a gauge, right? I think if the car makers don't 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 want to be so honest with you, the battery range they could have put full or empty, right? So it's fully charged or empty, right? But they try to give you something for you to measure so that you roughly have a gauge. So they denote it in kilometers, right? 40 km, 35 km. And this is where the customers really gave the salespeople or the car makers, service personnel a very, very hard time, right? They tend to believe that their battery is now smaller. They received a faulty battery. They keep sending the cars back for check and all that. It all stems from the lack of willingness to understand further, to think of problems from a scientific angle instead of just, I'm a customer, I'm always right, I demand a new battery. Let me come back to that. So when your car is showing 450 km of range available instead of 500, it doesn't mean your fuel tank is now smaller, right? It just means that your previous driving habit is actually higher fuel consumption in a way, right? It's the same as your electric battery range, right? A lot of people didn't notice this, don't know about this. Like when you're driving on a flat road versus going uphill, you're using a lot more energy. All right, you're using a lot more. It can be double, triple. When you're giving a heavy foot, full acceleration, you can be using 10 times, 15 times more power, be it petrol or electric. Whatever it is out there that helps you to save fuel, nothing saves more fuel than your right foot, than how you accelerate the car or how you drive the car. So just want either salesman to watch this video and understand this, to explain to your customers, or those of you who wanted to buy a hybrid car or a plug-in hybrid car or an electric car, to first understand this. It's just like a fuel tank, right? Having a shorter range on your electric car doesn't mean you have a smaller battery now. Same goes, having less kilometers shown on the range estimation doesn't mean your fuel tank is smaller. Same goes when you drive very smoothly and then you have a longer range, doesn't mean your fuel tank is larger. Same thing. So I just hope you guys understand this and stop giving them such a hard time. I really pity them. Moreover, all this nonsense complaints of sending your car back, that comes from fear, lack of understanding, unwillingness to research and read and understand more, has resulted in what? There are a lot of cars that are sent back to service centers for no reasons at all. And then for those who really have something to fix, and then you complain the service is slow, it's because of a lot of people just out of fear keep bringing their cars back to BMW or to Volvo or to Mercedes-Benz or whatsoever. It's just funny lah, huh? So yeah, that's what I wanted to say here. So if you're a salesman, I hope this video helps you in explaining to your customers. And if you're a EV or hybrid car buyer, I hope this video also helps you in understanding that this is how it works. All right, and for the range that they show, right, it is actually based on the standard test. Let's say BMW launched a new car and then they claim that this plug-in hybrid can go 40 km, right? But the 40 km is through a standardized test, right? and BMW can't do the standardized test for you specifically from your home to your office or whatsoever. They must have a standard procedure where involving the car drive, stop, maybe in a traffic light or something, and then move, and then drive up to a certain speed, maintain it for a time, and then slow down, and then set idle, to try and emulate a series of driving behaviors in the real world, and then use this standard test to apply on every single car to show whether this car in this test gets 40 or this car in this test gets 38. That's the only way to test a standard test, right? But in the real world, you may be living on a hill, right? You may have a nice downhill all the way. You may be living in the city with a lot of traffic jam. You may be someone who likes to blast your air conditioning, right? There are so many different anomalies that might affect the range, that will affect the range, not might, right? And the temperature, right? If our temperature is about 20 degrees, that's the best temperature for batteries. But of course, car makers thought of all this already. They have already think of all this. So your battery has its own cooling system to maintain the temperature. So yeah, that's what I wanted to tell in this video. If you think this video helps you, I would appreciate a like and subscribe. And if it's your first time watching my video, I've done about 1,000 car reviews in my channel. I explain how turbochargers work. I explain how boxer engine works. Some of the things that if it pops up, I'll try and explain it. Alright? Thank you. And cheers, and be happy to go forth and buy your hybrid car or your electric car. Alright? Cheers.
Ladies and gentlemen. Darling.